Welcome to our second version of the webinar series at Spye. My name is Paul Krumrich, the president of Spye.
And I'm Scott Johnson, your senior design engineer.
Today we're going to talk about BYOD, BYOM, bring your own device, bring your own meeting. So Scott, let's talk there. What does BYOM mean?
Bring your own meeting. So that's just an extension from a few years ago when BYOD came about. Bring your own meeting nowadays is the ability to walk in with any type of mobile device and connect to room peripherals within a space for video and audio conferencing.
So does that allow you to share wirelessly and seamlessly, or just seamlessly with wires?
BYOM would be, usually we recommend that you hardwire that solution in with the USB and HDMI cable using the in-room peripherals like the video conferencing camera, in-room microphone, in-room audio, as well as the display within the room.
So actually, it's a good point to go back. The main option here versus bring your own device, bring your own meeting means that you're taking control of all of the peripherals of the room, which means you're using cameras, speakers, microphones from the room versus your laptop.
Exactly. Yep.
Talk to me a bit about, like, would a company use like these full rooms in every room in their building? Would they have certain rooms that are fully decked out and certain not? Like, you know, how are people doing that in terms of, like, if they have 20 conference rooms in an office setup, what is the typical setup?
Yeah, a lot of it depends on the needs for the clients, but as I had mentioned, we're seeing that huddle type of space, the medium room, and then the large conference room. And depending on a client's needs, a lot of times what we'll see, just for ease of use, in a large conference room, they're building a dedicated room. So I'm sure a lot of people have heard of Microsoft Teams rooms or Zoom rooms, where basically you're walking in and you're hitting a button on that touch screen to launch that meeting. In a huddle room or something along those lines, that's maybe more of an all-in-one type of video camera, microphone, a speaker, and then somebody's connecting to that with a USB cable and an HDMI cable and just displaying that content up on the screen. Typically what we like to do is just work with the client, find out exactly what they're trying to do, and then make suggestions based off of our fact finding.
Got it. Talk to me a little bit about how business could continue to use the preferred platform while also having some key rooms maybe that are offering the other ones. So I assume where people come in and do more presentations or lunch and learns, they might set up a different setup than they would in the back where it's only employees using a conference room.
Sure. So traditionally, if you're having internal communication, so Microsoft Teams to another Microsoft Teams solution, employees only, and not just limited to Teams, you might have a dedicated room for something along those lines. You're not going to have people from the outside coming in. You have a lot more control over the devices that are connecting to your network, or even what's inside of your firewall. For those ones where maybe you have vendors coming in for presentations, other business partners, things along those lines, a room like that, you need to make that a little bit more agnostic, a little bit more open, and that's where the BYOD, BYOM solution would come into account, where they are able to connect via hardwire HDMI to present, plug in a USB cable to access everything in the room, or if they're going to do a wireless presentation, maybe just have something where they can navigate to a IP address in their web browser.
How can Spye help make the decision for one to invest in BYOM?
Sure. A lot of it's just working with the client, finding out what platforms that they want to use. So a lot of the peripherals that are out there are certified in Teams platforms, Zoom platforms, WebEx platforms. As you can imagine, based on room sizes and acoustics within a room itself, that's where our value is coming from, is working with those clients, looking at those rooms, and then making recommendations based off of platform software that they want to use for conferencing or for presentation, and then the aesthetics of the room, as well as the just the way the room is laid out, to make sure the right peripherals are specified for that room and are going to work with those platforms that the clients are requesting.
But in recap, bring your own device versus bring your own meeting. Bring your own meeting is just a new version of bring your own device, where now you're using your laptop to launch or set up a meeting in a room where you're using all the peripherals. You can utilize other systems within a specific room. You can standardize for your clients and your employees the experience, whether it's from your laptop or the boardroom, that user interface. You can integrate calendars, whiteboards, other technology. And other than really simplifying a room down to no video conferencing, there's not a ton of reasons not to include BYOM in most of your conference rooms. Am I right?
Yeah, Paul, that's correct. So I think that's what a lot of companies are finding in the new hybrid environment is the advantages of bring your own meeting, and with people becoming more and more used to using those web-based video conferencing applications, being able to go in and then having that same experience for connectivity, whether they're at home or with any space within their office for communication needs. And as you had mentioned, some of the neat things that, or other enhancement to the solution, is being able to bring in an interactive whiteboard or an interactive display, calendar integration, and things along those lines, as well as occupancy sensors and things that automate that entire process. And that's where Spye is able to help out, is to be able to put together those solutions.
Sounds great.